Chapter 4. Big Bang and a Bubble of Pure Bliss. 2 months after the first message from Jacob, Anna Veronica is on an airplane and winging her way to France. It is the Easter holidays and she has got 10 days off from work, and somehow, miraculously, things fall into place so that she can go. Also, with the build-up of this crazy, funny, happy energy between them these past weeks, they simply have to meet up. The emails become funnier every day, and occasionally hilarious. No one but the two of them would probably think so, but that does not matter. Anna Veronica has a belly laugh several times a day, and there is a new email coming in every time she checks. And oh boy, does she check often. They write to each other about almost everything. They recall people and episodes from the ski resort all those years ago, and one of their favorites is the famous Chilean guy Ethan, who tries to chat up the Norwegian girl Maggie, called Laundry Maggie because she works in the laundry much of the time. This is what happens. Ethan walks up to Laundry Maggie, puffs out his chest, clenches his fists, takes a few brave steps on the spot and looks at her confidently. Pausing briefly, he speaks the never-to-be-forgotten words, "I am Wolf." All the boys agree that it is indeed one of the most courageous acts they have ever seen or heard of. Then there is the kind-hearted Norwegian man Peter, whose English is so bad that it makes everyone laugh. One night he's trying so hard to explain something in English that everyone just ends up laughing until their tummies ache. No one understands a word, but Peter does not mind. He just smiles and simply continues his brave attempts at mastering the English language. The memories from that time are dear, and they are many. Anna Veronica also tells Jacob about her spiritual quest and warns him that now she only eats food that they catch directly from nature, and that she hopes he has a fishing rod and maybe a boat ready when she comes to see him. Jacob writes back not to worry, he's on it, and if they are lucky, they might catch a shark. They also agree to send each other some pictures, so that meeting up after all these years will not be too big of a shock. The afternoon before Anna Veronica leaves for France, she goes to one of her favorite places, a large stone circle only half an hour drive from where she lives. She loves this place and comes here every so often. It is also the place where she has worked with a group that call themselves shamaniacs, the same people she has been to Peru with. Some of her memories from this place are very dear to her. These circles were built by their ancestors, and they know old wisdom. There are stories in these ancient stones. Tonight Anna Veronica wants to ask the stones if they have something to tell her about the upcoming trip. She offers some tobacco before she enters the circle, and once inside, she greets the 4 directions, and the sky, the earth, and the great mystery. Then she walks slowly from stone to stone. There are 23 beautiful stones in the larger outer circle. One is missing, but as their teacher once told them, it is the one not present who is most present. Anna Veronica enters the inner circle, also called the dolmen. It contains 5 giant stones, and these hold the top stone that weighs 12 tons. She knows that it is a twin stone, and that the other half is in another stone circle only a few kilometers away. She smiles at a memory. It is from a drum journey where she lands on this top stone and meets Thor, who lifts it off the others as easy as pie and places it on the ground. Then he takes her hand so that she can walk safely onto the earth. He is such a gentleman. Anna Veronica offers some tobacco when inside the dolmen, before she takes another round and walks from stone to stone in the outer circle. There is one stone that seems to want her attention, and she stops before it. Then she sees it. There is an image of a woman in the stone. Anna Veronica looks at her. She is tall and slim and is wearing a long dress. Then a sentence comes to her mind. Be somebody's special woman. She cannot help but smile. This is the message the stone has for her. On the plane the next day, Anna Veronica leans back in her seat to rest. A beautiful stewardess carries a tray with glasses of orange juice and water and asks her if she would care for something to drink. Anna Veronica gratefully accepts a glass of juice. She wonders, will they still have the same feelings for each other as back then? She remembers how she would have moved her world to be with him. Instead, she had her heart broken. She smiles a little at the thought. Most of it was the drama of young age. Nevertheless, it felt real enough back then. Anna Veronica drifts back to memories from her past. She has left the ski resort and is back in Norway when she gets a letter from Laundry Maggie, where she tells her that one night after Anna Veronica has left the resort to travel with some of her friends, Jacob is with another girl for one night. Anna Veronica cries in agony when she reads it. Then her pride sets in, and she is determined to move on and not let it get to her. But deep down she is hurt and confused. How can this be true after that wonderful time they spent together? When she receives a letter from Jacob a little later, it is cheerful and positive and ends with, "Miss you. Hope to see you soon. Lots of love and kisses." Anna Veronica cannot believe it. It hurts even more that he is not honest. She writes him back and tells him what she knows. A couple of months later, Jacob and Morgan are on an interrail together and comes to visit her and Trina in Norway. Anna Veronica and Jacob never get a chance to talk. When she looks at him, she sees a man who lied to her. Some months later, when she, Trina, and Maria go to visit their adventurous friends in England, Anna Veronica and Jacob are like two magnets again. But he has a girlfriend then. They keep in touch for some time after that, but then he writes her a letter saying that he's getting married. She writes him back that if she were getting married, she would not want her husband to keep in touch with an ex-girlfriend, and suggests they stop writing to each other. And so they do, and they lose contact. Anna Veronica is relieved in a way, and she moves on with her life and forgets all about him. About half an hour before landing, Anna Veronica finds her small travel-sized toothbrush and toothpaste from her hand luggage. She has saved a small bottle of water and goes into the tiny bathroom to brush. She does not want to risk having a bad breath after the journey. She is excited and a little nervous when she is finally waiting by the suitcase conveyor belt. A few minutes later, she walks through the customs, and on the other side Jacob is waiting for her. He has a sign in his hand saying, "Bergheim's Publishing Services." Anna Veronica laughs. Bergheim is her surname, and she has told Jacob about her writing and her own publishing company. Anna Veronica looks at him. He is the same man, the same smile, the same bright blue eyes, and the same voice. Some smiling wrinkles around his eyes and less hair, but he has warned her about that. Not that she cares about hair or not at all. They meet and greet each other with a small friendly hug. How was the trip? Jacob helps her with the suitcase. It was okay. I managed to get some sleep. Earplugs are always my best friends when traveling. Was the food okay? He smiles at her as they walk towards the parking payment machine. It was okay. Anna Veronica shakes her head a little. Well, you know what it's like. I always order vegetarian when I travel. You can do that online in advance, you know." "I'll remember that." Anna Veronica looks at him and smiles, still puzzled about the whole meeting. It has been 24 years. Most of all, she would like to just stare at him, to see if it is really him, but she cannot do that, of course. Better go along with the small talk, as they are good at that. Jacob finds the ticket in one of his pockets and puts it in the payment machine. "It's so freaking expensive to park, I can't believe it." "Yes, parking is expensive." Anna Veronica tries to show some sympathy. For a short moment she thinks about what the flight ticket cost, but then changes her perception. Jacob chipped in and she's not paying a penny for her stay. On top of that, he has planned a massage and a pedicure for her to make her feel good after the trip. No one has ever done something like that for her before, and she's almost too shy to accept. She's not used to being spoiled like this, but he writes her and says that he has it all planned, so she decides to say yes, thank you, and simply enjoy it all. Anna Veronica is a bit sorry that her nails are so short. She has tried to let them grow these past weeks, but all her life she never managed to grow long nails. They are simply too soft. When they are inside the car, they kiss. Not long, but long enough to be more than just a friendly kiss. It's not like one of them takes the initiative. It is just the most natural thing in the whole world. They are like two magnets again. "I hope my breath isn't too bad. I didn't know if we were going to kiss, but I brought a toothbrush and toothpaste on the plane and brushed in the bathroom before we landed." "It's fine." Jacob smiles, and so does she. Then he starts the car and finds the way out of the car park. They begin to talk about their lives. Anna Veronica is doing most of the listening, and she is happy to. They have a few hours' drive from the airport to Jacob's apartment close to the beach. She enjoys listening to all the stories from his life. It does not strike her as an easy life, though. But then again, who has? "Damn!" Jacob swears. The traffic light just turned red, and they have to wait. He seems irritated, and Anna Veronica looks at him a little puzzled. "I cannot remember ever hearing you swear, not even once when we were on the ski resort." He looks at her and points to the red light. "Those damn traffic lights, they're everywhere." He has a glint in his eyes now, but Anna Veronica senses the underlying irritation. "Are you really annoyed? I mean, it's only a red traffic light." She wants to tease him a little, but cannot help but think that something about him has changed, as if life has gotten to him somehow. "It's like this every time I drive here. The damn lights turn red." Now he's putting on an act, and Anna Veronica giggles. "Well, I will let you in on a secret. They are there for a reason, you see. It's to keep the traffic flowing naturally and easily. You see those cars coming from over there? Now they can drive because we wait. Later, they wait and we can drive." Jacob laughs, and so does she, but Anna Veronica looks at him. "It's true, you know. You never used to swear, and I cannot recall you ever being irritated over anything." "Well, I guess it comes with a bitch cold life." Jacob sounds resigned. Anna Veronica looks at him. "Hey, Mr. Roberts, where's that young, polite Englishman I used to know all those years back? He must be in there somewhere." Roberts is Jacob's surname. Anna Veronica smiles at him and he laughs. They reach for each other's hands at the same time and do not let go for the rest of the drive. That night they hardly sleep at all. For the next 10 days, Anna Veronica and Jacob are in a bubble of total happiness and pure bliss. They laugh and they laugh. Every little silly detail is hilarious. Time and space do not exist. It is just the two of them in a state of perfect harmony. They talk and talk about everything. They meld together as if they have never been apart. The trust and the honesty and the tenderness is like nothing Anna Veronica has ever experienced before. They talk about everything, good and bad. They have absolutely nothing to hide or prove, and they do not have a worry in the world. On the contrary, worries seem so ridiculously funny. They laugh themselves silly sometimes, and they talk and they listen, and they make love. As the days pass, Jacob and Anna Veronica are pretty sure they can begin to rewrite Kama Sutra. Do you remember you told me that there were some women mud wrestling in a disco in your town back in the 80s? Anna Veronica is a little surprised at Jacob's question, but nods her head. Yes, I do. I watched it a couple of times. Did you see it when you were there? No, but I remember you told me about it. You'd be great doing that, you know. Wrestle another woman. You've got the body for it. Jacob looks serious enough, but Anna Veronica just laughs in surprise. What? Me? You gotta be kidding. It's a big thing in Germany, I believe, and in some Eastern European countries. I'm surprised that Scandinavian women don't pursue this more, being some of the most liberated women in the world. Well, you know, Scandinavian women, we are very independent, and equality between the sexes has come far. I think many women would see it as a sexist kind of thing. Oh, I see. But it's a way to get in touch with your aggressive side. It's why I've been playing football most of my life. It's kept me sane. Anna Veronica smiles. Jacob often speaks very fondly about playing football. Okay, well, I could never fight another woman. She'd be like a sister to me. I know so many great women. I love them all. Well, except for that bitch Lizzie, of course. I'd sure like to give her a good punch on the nose. Anna Veronica laughs at herself and knows that she sounds a lot braver than she is. Lizzie was the girl on the ski resort who arranged the setup between Jacob and the other girl all those years ago. It would be good for you. You'd get in touch with your aggressive side. I think you've suppressed it most of your life. Are you serious? Anna Veronica is puzzled at this whole thing, but Jacob has an interest in mental health and knows a thing or two about the human psyche. Yes, besides, you would be fighting for my honor. I would be the referee. He has a big smile on his face, but Anna Veronica shakes her head in disbelief. Well, I could never do that. You do realize that I come from a decent family, don't you? She tries to make her face look serious, and Jacob laughs. Of course, I know you do, but you can't fool me. Come here, Miss Bergheim. They are glued to each other in one long, hot embrace. It is the Big Bang all over. Boom. They fall in love. To Anna Veronica, it's a feeling of coming home. One night they are on the beach with a bottle of champagne. They cannot stop talking, laughing and kissing, nor take their eyes off each other. You and I are soulmates. Jacob moves closer to her and they kiss. Do you think so? Anna Veronica looks at him. She wonders. Soulmates? She's not so sure. She met a soulmate some years ago, a couple of years after the divorce. They were at a music concert together, and after 5 minutes, she just knew. They got in touch, but he was never really interested, so nothing more came out of it. But this connection with Jacob, it has got to be something else. It is something different. This connection is not of this world. The next morning, Anna Veronica is taking a shower. She is totally relaxed, and with her eyes closed, she massages her head with shampoo. When she opens her eyes, she stares into a big smiling face only inches from her own face. Anna Veronica is so taken by surprise that she screams out loud, a long-lasting, high-pitched scream. When she realizes that it is Jacob, he simply cracks up with laughter and cannot stop. "Oh my God, you should have seen your face!" He just laughs and laughs. "Revenge, Jacob. Know that revenge is coming." Anna Veronica cannot stop laughing herself, mostly at Jacob, who does not seem able to stop. For the rest of her stay, they laugh about what comes to be known as Miss Bergheim's famous shower scream. Anna Veronica has never seen a man laugh like this before. Everything changes. The way she feels, the way she thinks. It is life-changing. Anna Veronica finds happiness beyond anything she ever thought was possible. It is overwhelming. She is so at peace with everything. She is going to be happy for the rest of her life, together with Jacob. And as the days pass, they begin to plan a future together. In the beginning, it is more him than her. He looks at houses for sale on the internet, talks about getting married and even having children. Anna Veronica laughs in surprise. "What? Having children? Jacob, I have 3 children and you have 1. Besides, you are so concerned about overpopulation and the state of the world." Anna Veronica is happily shaking her head. "I know a guy who became a father in his 50s. Jacob is one big smile. "I'm in my mid-40s and I'm not having any more children. And marriage? I have been married, you know. And by the way, did you forget that you're still married?" Anna Veronica is laughing, but her world is shaken, and life as she knows it will never be the same. Back in the summer house, Anna Veronica takes a break from writing. The days go fast while she is here, and she is not getting nearly as much done as she would have liked to. She puts on her jacket and walking boots. There is nothing like a refreshing walk to clear the mind. She loves to spend time in nature while she is here, visiting some of her favorite places. Grandma used to take her for walks in nature when she was a little girl, and today she wants to visit the gigantic willow where the 2 of them used to spend time together, talking, singing, and dancing. She has got to drive some of the way to get there, and jumps in the car. After a short drive, Anna Veronica parks the car and starts walking. It is not that long, and from a distance she can see the huge willow spreading its long arms to greet her. She spreads her own arms and waves back. It occurs to her that time is such a strange thing. It could have been yesterday that she was here with Grandma. What was the Peruvian shaman's words again? The past is right in front of you, and the future is right behind you. Anna Veronica has thought about that many times and read somewhere that in their cosmology they see time as a spiral and not as linear and chronological. She walks up to the tree and rests her forehead against the strong trunk while she holds her arms around it. "Hello there, Willie. Remember me?" she whispers. Then she sits down to relax with her back against the tree. Anna Veronica closes her eyes and drifts back to a childhood memory with Grandma. They chuckle and laugh together by the spring creek. Anna Veronica dances happily next to her Grandma. Her little hand rests safely in hers. The elderly woman walks slowly, putting one foot carefully before the other. Her voice is soft and gentle. Listen, Anna Veronica. Grandma teaches her to listen to the sound of their feet against the forest floor. Grandma points at the sky. Look, Anna Veronica. She shows her the position of the sun, and together they close their eyes to feel its warming rays. Grandma points to the 4 directions, to the east, the south, the west, and the north, and tells her about Mother Earth, Grandfather Sun, and Grandmother Moon. She shows her flowers, trees, rocks, mountains, and rivers, and talks about how they are connected to everything around them. The little Anna Veronica has a big smile on her face while she's listening. When I grow up, Grandma, I want to be exactly like you, only not old. Grandma laughs heartily. Anna Veronica is back from the past, smiling. She has been told this story many times, that she wanted to be just like Grandma, only not old. It was one of both Grandma and her mom's favorite stories. Anna Veronica must have been around 6 years old. A little later, Anna Veronica goes back to the summer house. Tomorrow she will meet with Steinar and walk to the mountain farm. The weather forecast is promising. A little cloudy early in the morning, but mostly sunny and blue sky the rest of the day. She's excited about the trip and at the same time humbled. She's going to see the farm and the place of the accident where Grandma lost her little brother. The next morning Anna Veronica is up early. She and Steinar have agreed to meet at 9. She packs her rucksack with a thermos of coffee, a small bottle of milk, 2 cups, some water, 2 sandwiches, and some chocolate. She also brings some extra clothes and her rainwear because the mountains can be unpredictable. Just before she leaves, her eyes fall on the small black oval-shaped stone on her altar, the one that she found on the shore a few days ago. She puts it in her pocket. Anna Veronica drives to the meeting point, which is past 2 farms until the road goes no further and there is a small parking spot where the path to the mountain starts. Steinar is already there waiting for her. He greets her with a friendly nod and Anna Veronica smiles. They make a few comments about how lucky they are with the weather and start walking on the path that leads them through the forest and further up into the mountains. The higher up they go, the thinner the forest becomes. At some point, it is only the small mountain birch that can survive in the high altitude. Anna Veronica finds the walk to be a little awkward. It would have been easier if her mum had been there, or they had known each other a little better, but they do their best to keep the conversation going with family stories from the past. When they do not talk, Anna Veronica takes in the beautiful scenery. She usually prefers to spend time in nature on her own. At some point they come to a place where the path is so narrow that only one of them can pass at a time. On one side there is a steep cliff wall, and on the other a deep gorge. When they have passed, Steinar tells her a story from the time when Olava's great-grandfather ran the farm. They had lost a cow which had fallen into the gorge. He also tells her that when they came to this place back in the old days, they had to send the animals across the narrow point one by one so that they did not risk losing any of them. Anna Veronica listens with interest. This was the life of her ancestors. After about 1.5 hours' walk, they can see the river from the path, elegantly twisting and turning, melding beautifully with the lush green landscape. In some places it is wider, other places narrower. Anna Veronica smiles at the living water. It is moving with the rhythms of a slow, untamed rumba. They walk a little longer until the river is only a few meters away from them. Then Steinar stops and points at a huge stone by the river. This is the place. It is called the Leap because the stone is so big that it's possible for someone to jump over to the other side. Is this where it happened? Anna Veronica looks down to the big stone by the river. She's taken by surprise that they are already here. Yes, this is the place that my mom showed me. She told me that Olava showed it to her when they were older. Steinar nods. Do you mind if I... No, go ahead. Steinar waits while Anna Veronica slowly walks down to the stone. She's standing by the edge looking down into the river. It is steep here, with many stones and rocks and almost 2 meters straight down to the water. All of a sudden a strong energy moves through her body. It is a sensation of goosebumps all over. Anna Veronica puts her right hand on her heart. She feels like crying, and her breathing becomes heavier. She looks quickly at Steinar, who is still waiting on the path. How she wishes she were here on her own right now. Tears fill her eyes, and a feeling of grief and despair makes her chest hurt. She picks up a little stone from her pocket and holds it in her hand. It is soft and smooth. Then she whispers a little prayer. I am so sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Then she blows gently on the little stone and leaves it by the leap. Anna Veronica knows that she will be back here on her own one day. When they continue to walk the short distance to the mountain farm, Anna Veronica is quiet and lost in her own thoughts. She can still feel the sadness and grief in her chest. She wonders, is she feeling the same grief as Grandma? It is not the first time she experiences something like this. This twin flame journey has taken her to such hidden depths of grief and heartache that she never knew existed. When they reach the mountain farm, Anna Veronica feels lighter. This is one of those places on planet Earth that holds a very special place in her heart. With the calm lake surrounded by the fertile valley, the fresh green grass, and the majestic mountains in the background, she feels as if she could have spent lifetimes here. It is as if she has known and loved this place forever. They find a beautiful spot by the lake and sit down to rest and eat. Anna Veronica takes out the coffee and the food that she has in her rucksack, and while they enjoy the meal, Steinar shares with her stories of how they used to live here in the old days. He points and explains. The log cabin where they used to live was over there. It had 3 little bedrooms, 1 tiny kitchen, and a small living room with a fireplace. Anna Veronica is listening carefully. She's eager to hear these stories of how her ancestors lived their lives. She nods and Steinar continues. There used to be a small barn over there, with stalls for the animals to stay at night. They had mostly cows and goats when Olava and Runa and Eystein were little. During the day the animals would graze in the area. The grown-up animals always recognized the place from the previous year, but the younger ones were always eager and excited when they were let loose for the first time. Anna Veronica smiles. In her mind's eye she glances over and catches a glimpse of the calves and the young goats jumping and dancing out of pure joy at the unexpected freedom. Steinar points and continues. There was a little wooden house over there that they called the creamery. This was where they made cheese and butter that they brought down to the community. Steinar points again, and down by the lake there was a little boathouse and an outdoor toilet with room for 2 people. He chuckles a little to himself and Anna Veronica smiles. She is fascinated by all these stories. This was the life of her grandma, of her ancestors. It was so different from the life of today. Do you know if they had to work hard all the time? Anna Veronica is curious about this. After all, if she's here to clear the burdens of her ancestors, she wants to know what she's up against. Steinar's gaze rests upon the lake for some time before he answers. Well, it was different back then. My mom told me that they enjoyed the summers in the mountains, although it was a lot of hard work. The animals needed milking morning and evening, and they had to sieve the milk to make butter and cheese. I know that they used to clean the equipment in the stream over there. Steinar points and Anna Veronica looks to the side where the water from the lake turns into a stream. I wonder what their lives were really like. I think maybe their lives were harder in some ways, but also easier in other ways. Anna Veronica nods. He's probably right. The trip down from the mountain goes faster than the trip up. They are not talking much and are walking fast, eager to get home to rest after a long day in the fresh air. Anna Veronica pays close attention to where the leap is. She wants to remember it for another time. Back by their cars, she thanks Steinar warmly for all his help. He smiles in a good-natured way and tells her that she is welcome to contact him any time. They say goodbye, and Anna Veronica drives back to the summer house, where she goes to bed right away and falls asleep as soon as she puts her head on the pillow.